We're here in Rock Hill for one of the most important tournaments of the season. However, at this moment in the Carolinas, disc golf feels like an afterthought. Hurricane Holyn has left countless people without loved ones and the places they call home. But in the wake of one of the largest disasters to ever hit this area, we are reminded of the importance of being united. It is through the care of our communities, our friends, and our families that life moves forward with the hope of a better future. As we play disc golf this weekend, we ask that you join us in creating a brighter tomorrow for Carolinians. The 2024 Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship starts now.
Hello and welcome to the 2024 Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championships presented by Innova Disc Golf. We are in round one of this PDGA A-tier. My name's Madison Walker.
My name's Erika Stinchcomb. Together, we're the two hot geese. And our thoughts and efforts go out to the victims of the hurricane and do what you can. We all can. And I'm not very eloquent, but you know, hopefully you feel what I feel.
Yeah, I think community is going to be really big right now before we get into it.
Oh yeah, also bigger, sexy, barrier. We got some Innova molds, we got some new Discraft molds, we have Thunderbirds, Wraiths, we got Raptors, we got Nukes. Go check out everything on JomezPro.com/shop. Joining us today for Throw Pink, we got Anniken Steen, 74% fairway hits in the 2024 season, 56% circle tune regulation, 78% C1X putting. She's been a joy to watch all season.
Holyn Handley, our 2023 Throw Pink champion, 77% fairway hit, 64% circle 2 in regulation, 79% circle 1X putting so far in 2024.
And that was Holyn's first big win with a playoff. Own Scoggins, no stranger to big wins herself, 77% fairway hits, 59% circle 2 in regulation, and 83% C1X putting. I would love to know her circle 2 for the year as well.
Yeah, last but not least, yay, Rebecca Cox. We just had her on the practice round last week. Excited to watch her today. In the windy conditions, 76% fairway hits. In 2024, 59% circle 2 in regulation. Here's hole 1, double Mando. The rocks. Some more rocks. And this log, the legendary log. You got to get over the top of this one, but not by much. It's downhill, so you can very easily blast by the basket. I like an overstable mid here. We had a ripping right to left crosswind today.
Yeah, coming off the water. Jumping straight in, Rebecca Cox up first.
Smooth.
Yeah, she is.
There she goes, blasting by the basket and potentially almost outside circle 2.
Too strong.
This shot doesn't really allow for a forehand. You almost have to throw a backhand here. You could chip a forehand through, but you're just not even going to be able to get inside the circle most often with a forehand.
Yeah, we've seen Kristen Tatar do that in the past, just kind of a par play. In calm conditions, you're thinking about birdieing this one every time, but a lot of these ladies are kind of stabling up and just making sure they get through the mandatories and have an easy par. Anniken will have a long putt.
So we knew it was going to be windy today, but it was absolutely wild out there. Windy, swirly, unpredictable, gusty, sustained wind all day, but with really powerful gusts. It was kind of a guessing game out there.
Holyn showing us just how difficult it is to pitch out of that little group of trees. It's quite dense in there.
Here's Rebecca coming back at the green.
She went fairway driver off the tee.
Did she?
Yeah, just to make sure I think she got through.
She threw it very soft, and it still just went straight by the basket.
Mm-hmm. Owned from 50-ish uphill.
Big old tree in the way.
Anniken from a bit closer. She's such a good putter.
Tailwind really took control of that disc.
Good looking run. So Holyn, the defending champ, winning this in a playoff against Kristen Tatar, who's got back-to-back second places, I believe. Oh, wait. It's her... Oh, wow. Kristen has had 4 consecutive second place finishes at the MVP Open. That's crazy. So she's probably hungry for a win here, especially after last year. Oh, surprising miss from Rebecca there.
Even though this seems like a pretty straightforward hole, it played in the top 5 most difficult holes. There was only 5 birdies today. It's a scary hole, one. It's also just a scary hole in general, and this sloped green with how much wind was happening today is no easy feat.
It's also not an easy feat just to qualify for this tournament. How big was the field? 51?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have chances all year, but it is difficult to qualify, so we have some really top quality players. Oh, look. There's one. Madison Walker.
Honk.
Hole 2, an uphill par 4, very birdieable at 542 feet. I like a turnover shot that ends up maybe just either in the center or a bit left if it fades out. If you get too far to the right, you might be dealing with a low ceiling. Second shot, there's a mandatory on the left as well as an OB-lined parking lot, so you want to make sure to stay towards the right of the basket. The fence line has an OB line that's pulled off of it a little bit, right?
Yep.
Like a few feet off of it, so you got to be careful on that approach, but if you get a good shot off the tee, you are definitely thinking you can birdie this every time. Not so sure about in the wind, just speaking generally.
Yeah, we had a bit of a left to right crosswind today, sometimes head. Again, it was really swirly, so it could be different for every card depending on what time they played the hole. There definitely wasn't a lot of time, though, where it was just a slack wind. It's almost always blowing.
And we had a pretty calm practice week, too, so that always makes it interesting when you practice in completely different conditions. Anniken with a great shot there.
Yeah, of course you want to get through those 2 big trees under those low-hanging branches, but I think it's a little bit of an advantage to land more to the left. Mm-hmm. It makes more of a hyzer shot instead of a kind of scary straight shot.
Ooh, Holyn pulling this one a little bit. Good distance, gets past everything actually, but that's kind of what Mad was just talking about. It's going to be that sketchier straight shot. It sets up pretty well for a forehand.
There's just a couple trees in the way. It just turns into, over there, a straight shot.
Yep.
And the hardest shot in disc golf.
Rebecca, not bad, but a little right and a little low. A lot of times when you land over there, you're kind of thinking, well, maybe par's okay. Good effort here.
Yeah, Rebecca with the really smart play, keeping it nice and low, not giving it the chance to skip OB left. She's inside the circle for birdie.
Looking kind of like a tail left to right.
Look at this tumbleweed.
Yeah, tumble branch.
Owen needs that thing to sit down, and it spikes nicely.
Anniken with a nice straight shot, gets around the big tree, and that's close that OB line, but I think she's okay. Beautiful looking shot.
Holyn, whoa, farther than I thought.
I know, isn't that crazy? With like an off shot,
Yeah.
She's still farther than everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, nice little approach too. Holland's had a really consistent season this year. I think she's had 10 podiums and 19 top 10s. She hasn't missed a top 10 since March. So
cow.
thanks, Statmando. Pretty nuts.
Owen coming up a little low on the cage here. The same thing happened to me. The wind on this hole was pretty wild. Really difficult to get the putter up and over the basket, even though the flag doesn't look like it's doing much. A really nice birdie from Rebecca Cox. Anniken so close to converting as well.
And a tap in here. I assume this played is, did you say, one of the easier?
Yeah, it's in the middle of the pack. There were
Okay.
7 birdies out of 51 competitors.
I think if the wind is down, we'll see quite a few more.
The Circle 1 and 2 stats I'm not going to be reporting today because we did not have a lot of stat keepers on cards today. So Yeah, they will not be accurate, but
We can wildly speculate for you, though.
we sure can. That's what we're really good at.
Haley King leading the way with a 2 down through 2 start.
Here's the new hole 3. We have a new tee pad. We used to tee off on the other side of this road that's running down the left side. They've moved it over onto the right side of the road for some nice clean course traffic. Most people are going to try to go through that initial gap, not over the top of the tree. And most players are going to try to go over that first little hazard blob in the middle of the fairway. The second shot, you got to get it to the mouth, but you don't necessarily need to go all the way through to get your birdie. It's a par 5. There is a Mando you have to avoid on your third shot. Evelina is going to show us how it's done here, checking in with her, going over that OB blob right there, and just way over it.
Yeah, it's
so far over it.
OB blob, right? Not a hazard blob.
Oh, is it OB?
I think so.
Yeah, it is.
It has played as hazard in the past. Regardless, the use of blob there is commendable.
Yep.
Oh,
And
wow.
Speaking of commendable,
What a
that's an
shot.
amazing shot.
I actually like this new tee position. It's easier to get distance. You can have a better distance shape versus a pure hyzer off the tee like the old tee pad. Look at that wind.
Yeah, and Evelina just making it look easy. Those are the scary ones whenever it's that windy.
That's a nice committed putt.
It was a left to right crosswind / headwind today, helping the discs carry with that distance shot, like Erika was saying.
But maybe a little easy to overturn,
For
perhaps.
sure. I think there was more people today that were like, I don't know where I am.
On the right.
On the right side.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do over here?
But it's at least safe over there versus the OB on the left. What do you think of the change?
I kind of like it.
I do too.
I want to play it a couple more times, but I think it's awesome. I really like that it sets up for a distance shot, and it does feel fairly low risk. It's a really fair gap.
Yeah, I think more people had to lay up before the blob from the previous tee. The blob. Ooh, great shot from Own.
It's right at that like 320, 330 distance range. But with a downhill to help. Anniken kind of crashing right. It's fine over there as well. You don't need to wrap the corner like we saw Evelina do on her second shot. It does make your third shot easier, of course, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, I like this because it is easier to get across, or at least to the far side of this kind of ditch down here, which was very, well, not very flooded, but it's muddy down there. You don't want to land in the bottom.
So most players are going to be erroring left here. You can see Own's disc hyzering out. You'll see a lot of people land in these this little clump of trees. Own getting a really nice break back out of it. It can be tricky to scramble from there. You just don't want to miss short. That big tree on the right is the Mando.
Rebecca, trying to work a backhand here. This needs a lot of turn not to end up in that tree clump. Pretty well done, but she gets the bad kick back into it. I'm surprised Holyn's not going forehand here.
Me too. It is really hard to gauge distance from that right side of the fairway, and you can't come in short because it is a death sentence for the rest of the hole.
With the mandatory there as well.
Yeah, you can see everyone erroring into this tree clump. Anniken not really able to get out.
Oh, and a mean roll too. She'll be open though and able to save her par. This is one that if you're not on the putting green, you're not really too happy with yourself, particularly because they really cleaned out kind of that group of trees on the short right.
We
of
say
the green.
they, but I think it was Hurricane Holyn that cleaned it out.
Yes, they.
Hurricane Holyn did a number to this course. It's still looking phenomenal, though. They put a ton of work in.
They did. They did. Yeah, there's some really big trees down. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is the most see-through we've ever seen this green. Holyn trying to get her third up onto the putting surface. Coming in hot.
Can be awkward back there. Those branches usually get in your way.
So all the holes are going to play a little bit more difficult today than they have in rounds prior. It was pretty insane wind. Some of the more difficult conditions I've seen out here.
What was it, like sustained 15?
Yep, sustained 15 gust. It said only up to 20 to 25, but I swear that was shorted.
What a putt. Look at this little spinny one. Kicks a little vine behind her.
And that's from inside the circle. She can't follow through,
Yeah.
too. Impressive.
Really impressive balance. Good start.
Yeah, there was some gusts where one gust I thought it was going to break the flagstick off the top of the basket. I'm not lying.
I believe you.
I heard it creaking and I turned around and I was like, and the group behind me was putting as it was happening. And they were just like, like crying. And I'm like, oh my God, if this flagstick blows off. There was only 9 birdies on this one. I think we'll see more in the calmer conditions for the upcoming days. 3 birdies on our feature card out of the 9.
Introducing Disc Raptor, the best way to clean and dry your discs on the course. Make short work of mud, moisture, and dust in a quick spin. It's there when you need it. Welcome to the future of disc golf.
Hole 4, a tunnel shot. It's a par 3, only 249 feet, but as Madison said earlier, it's a straight shot, the hardest shot in disc golf. There is a mandatory on the left that you need to hit. Very difficult to get all the way through this tunnel cleanly. You see a lot of mid-ranges and fairway drivers. If you're gonna make a mistake, ending up on the left side is way more open than the right, which tends to be a bit low ceiling and difficult. But first things first, just get through the gap. Holyn going mid-range here. Looks like Z-Buzz SS pulling it. And that's a very common mistake. She didn't miss the mandatory, though.
She acts like she's fine with that, but I hate missing right there. Because then you still have a tunnel shot left.
It's annoying, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like just to smack one of these trees and kick either way left or way right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to smack that one, the first one in the secondary tunnel on the right.
Yep.
My favorite tree to just kind of...
Yeah, you just got to pick your tree here because the gap is so hard.
Oh, Owen picks a branch. Looks a little bit more protected here, maybe, than some of the rest of the course.
Yeah, this was one of the few places on the course where you're like, oh, maybe I can take my jacket off.
Anniken hitting my preferred tree. Yeah, oof.
Yeah,
A lot of
scary
work.
one. And I like how they added that little
Do you like that?
tree. No, that was being sarcastic.
Okay, great.
Yeah, they added that little tree right there. I'm not sure why. They just had an extra one.
Yeah, Holyn almost, she like finds a gap in between the new tree and the old tree.
That almost seems like they had like a course, like a dartboard of the course, and they just were like, where can we put this other one? And they just like chuck the dart. Because that's such a random place to throw a tree.
In my mind, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, it's like right next to the other tree.
But like a little bit out of it. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like not quite in play.
Oh, no. Rebecca, this is a low ceiling I was talking about. Tries to go around and play the skip shot, but it doesn't really work out. Holyn, really long look at a par save here. Good pace on it. A little short.
There were 8 birdies on this hole, but a quarter of the field bogeying it as well. So I feel like it's an easy one to accidentally bogey.
Yeah. Rebecca with a great par save there. Anniken continuing her par streak.
Yeah, it was straight up hot on the screen. It was nice. I was like, oh man, should I go to the parking lot, the player parking lot, and change into shorts?
Oh no,
And
good thing you didn't.
Yeah, you get to the next hole and you're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, very exposed on 5.
Chantel Budinsky was on my card. 3 down through 4. She was slaying, making some huge putts like normal. Here is legendary hole 5. This tee shot feels like it stretches on forever because the angle is so weird. It sets up nicely for a distance forehand if you've got it, but there's also a backhand turning shot and a big hyzer. Your second shot, you're still going to work up the fairway, ideally landing just before the big bushes. Your third across the water if you're feeling yourself, but here in FPO, we do not have a Mando on the corner, so you can wrap around and go all the way and take the water completely out of play. It's kind of a player's choice here. Both ways can get a par.
Going around can be a difficult par, though, if
Sure
you
can.
short some of your shots.
Yeah, I tried it today. It's very difficult.
Yeah, you can easily kind of get stuck a little short of the corner.
That little ditch that Rebecca landed short of is right in the FPO landing zone. It's impressive how often your disc can find its way into that little 1 foot wide.
Yeah, particularly on the forehand.
Mm-hmm.
Owen looks like she gets across really nicely.
This hole was really difficult today for both backhand and forehand. The wind was ripping right to left. It actually looks strangely calm right now.
Yeah, there's definitely some out there, but yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah, when you came through?
Yeah.
Yeah, the flags are doing something, but it does look like a nice, gentle breeze. Anniken across the ditch.
Oh, there they go. There they go. Yeah, it was like a hard flap. You know what I mean? Not
Hard
like
flap.
Not like a...
Like a...
Yes, it's like getting your attention. You're like, there are feather banners over there.
Yeah.
Sounds like applause.
And 3 out of 4 across that little ditch is really solid. Rebecca, I'm sure, just happy to not be in it and have some good footing here. These little trees are weirdly in the way sometimes on this second shot.
Yeah, they're placed really nicely. Rebecca gonna land way right. It's gonna be a toss-up on whether she decides to go for it on her third or not.
I think she's going around.
Yeah, I think so too.
She's too far.
Yeah, you want to land as close to the water as possible and those bushes on the left.
Yeah, like this is a toss-up to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think she might go. No, she
I
can't go around, can she? As a
I feel
lefty,
like her facial expression was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. She's like, whoops. That's how you play hole 5. You're just like,
yeah.
ugh.
Well, I didn't really think about it from a left-handed perspective because why would I?
Mm-hmm.
It's really tough for her to go around.
Yep.
She kind of has to challenge the water.
So Holyn trying to land somewhere in line with that spotter, ideally. Or sorry, camera person.
Yeah, and if she's gonna, make a mistake, she chooses right, which is smart. There's way more room.
This played as the second most difficult hole of the day, and it all comes down to this shot right here.
Oh, so scary.
Oh, yeah.
That looks great.
Don't play with it, wind.
Come on. Yeah,
Nice.
fantastic
Wow.
shot.
Crawls over the edge.
And to have a birdie look at this one is rare. I want to say this has technically been an event for FPO for 3 years, and I think it's been in that pin position for 2 of them. It used to be a little bit more pulled off the water and a little bit more worth it to go for the birdie. Rebecca pulls this one. Actually, it's really good. Yeah, it's really far. I thought it was a little too far right. She's going to have one tree in her way, it looks like. Oh, Owen's doing it.
Yes, she is.
Forehand. She had a legendary skip off the water last year to get in bounds. Looks like she's just playing for par today.
Yeah, this one just gets over. All of those trees on the corner are out of bounds. So
Yeah, the line's pulled off it pretty good, actually.
It sure is. Holyn going around. She's far enough.
She's one of the few who can go around and still maybe get a birdie look. Maybe.
Rebecca.
Weird spot.
Yeah, I don't even know where she is.
She's like deep.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Where I'm surprised there is not an OB line.
Yeah, and she leaves that one very short for her par look.
This is a strangely intimidating and difficult approach. Look how
What do you mean strangely? Look at it.
I know, but like it just looks wide open. And then,
okay, yeah.
I watched
it's
two people on my
12
card.
feet away.
I watched 2 people on my card today have like 250-foot approaches and threw them to like 150.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
I know.
It happens so fast.
Boy, do I know.
That's even a little short.
Yeah, you want to be a little closer. Rebecca, nervy. Oh, she's just going to lay up. That's smart.
Yeah, there was only one birdie today, so if you're walking away with a par, you're stoked. Let's shout out Amanda Lennartson.
Let's.
Awesome.
This is the most stark bullseye I've ever seen. Like, it's very clear that...
It looks like you'd have to step over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. It's a different world in there.
Uh-huh. This whole average a full stroke over par. I got a 6 today, and I was ecstatic.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of people felt that way. They're like, oh, yeah. Nice job.
Yeah, 6 is fine in the wind on this one. Mm-hmm. And the water line is higher than normal, too. Mm-hmm. There's less land. Yeah, it's hard to get under par at this course just any day, let alone a blustery one. Hole 6, the beach hole. Not a lot of beach to work with. They were working on this all the way through Sunday to try to repair it, and they've done a great job with the time that they've had. It's a par 3, 282 feet. There's an OB line all the way on the right, and then we go to the beach. You can see the sand that they're working with here. If you land anywhere out of bounds, it's a mandatory drop zone from, 45-ish downhill. Checking in with Kristen Tatar, runner-up from last year. Also, you probably know who she is.
Mm-hmm. Working the skip shot. I love that. You just have to be careful because there are some rocks down there that you can find that are delineating the out of bounds area.
The skip shot's my preferred play as well.
Kaidi Al-Salou coming in a little higher, trusting her disc around the branches.
Kristen from the top of the hill. Oh wow, they really filled this in. Mm-hmm. This was just dirt on Monday, and it was seeping through. Like as you walked on it, water was coming through.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
groundwater. It was nuts. Evelina Salonen on the same hole.
A little bit lower, still coming in with a fast disc and getting a big skip. I like that play because it hits the sand and just stops. Like you don't have to worry about it skipping off the sand.
Yeah. Wow.
This is the first hole of the day that averaged under par, and one of only 3 that averaged under par.
Fun day.
Yeah, super fun.
Owen hanging it out nice and wide. Looks like she's going to get the skip. Beautiful.
Wow, buzz in the basket.
Absolutely parked. Surprisingly, Owen has never, I don't think she has podiumed. It just seems like she podiums all the time. Her best finish here is 5th.
I feel like this is such a putter's course. I think we'll see a strong performance from Owen this weekend.
Always. And she's back-to-back 3rd place at GMC MVP. She's good for some podiums.
She's on one.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a good tree hit.
So this is the beach hole, aka the Florida hole. Shout out to everyone dealing with Hurricane Helene and currently Hurricane Milton in South Florida. Thinking about you guys.
That was a very wild miss from Holyn. Really pulled it, working the hyzer. Here's a nice shot from Rebecca.
And look how close that OB line is on the deep side.
Did they bring it in quite a bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holland still with a little work left to do.
A lot of work. Ooh.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Oh, wow. Cool. Nice straight skip with that mid-range.
There were 18 birdies on this one out of 51 competitors. This is one that you're just really hoping you get because it's, I don't want to say it's one of the few. You can birdie them all, but
it's one of the easiest.
Yeah, this is one that feels a little bit no nonsense.
Yeah, it's standard kind of hyzer shot, less than 300.
There's a lot of nonsense on this course.
Yeah, it's kind of known for nonsense. Yeah. This XA tier that we play at the end of the year. If you don't know the history of Throw Pink, it's mildly confusing.
Yeah,
we don't have to get into it.
It's a major for on the MPO side. It feels like a very prestigious event. It's been they've been running it for I think over 30 years.
Yeah,
is that right?
That sounds right.
And it's just a very well-run event. It's great with spectators. There's all kinds of fun stuff. If you're ever looking for a course to come spectate, this one's awesome.
It is fun.
But yeah, we already have enough majors. We have U.S. women, so we just get to play this. Here's hole 7. It's 284 feet, the famous bamboo hole. The gap is so far away, and it's one of those situations where you stand on the tee pad and it even stretches farther away somehow. The little movie moment? It just goes farther and farther away the longer you stare at it. Yeah. I love the forehand play that we're watching Kristen Tatar do here. Oh, she's throwing more of a flex line. That is beautiful. You see a lot of backhand putters, some backhand mid-ranges. If you miss the bamboo wall in any way, shape, or form, you have to go to one of the 2 drop zones, and they're very challenging putts.
I would love the stat on who chooses which drop zone, or like which one is more common.
One's an Anheuser putt, one's a Heiser putt. They're both fairly low ceiling. Checking in also with Evelina. She's giving herself a putt.
Oh, her putt is looking great today. 3 down in this wind, as the flag is still.
Yeah.
Tailwind, though, not bad.
Yeah, you can see the wind really whipping as Owen steps up to the tee. She's working a Heiser play, trying to call for it, and it hits the thing and gets a really nice kick into the middle.
Yeah, she'll have a chance.
A lot of times you hit that bamboo and it'll kick you right or backwards, and you're left with a really wide straddle putt of nothing.
Or a little forehand roller or something crazy.
Oh, yeah, Rebecca.
That's a pretty shot. Just needs to get through. Oh,
Yes.
nice. That's really good. Rebecca throwing her gold line compass there.
So pretty.
Ooh, Anniken also throwing a compass. Hers is a gold orbit. See who does it better. Fade. Okay.
Nice
good kick. Yeah.
Bamboo is being friendly for our feature card.
Yeah, if you can manage to hit it on a Heiser, you sometimes get the nice kick.
Only sometimes.
Only sometimes. Ooh, really clean shot from Holyn.
So good.
Oh, she goes putter. That's cool. ESP Challenger SS. Anniken from, call it 43.
Giving it a nice little Annie bid.
Yeah, par's good. No birdies for Anniken yet. Owen with a solid look at it. Gives it a good run.
I wish there was a stat for how many people got through the bamboos.
Ooh, yeah.
Because not everyone goes for it. You see a lot of players kind of laying up to the gap and leaving themselves a long straight putt. Rebecca, though, in for the birdie.
Rebecca, ooh, oh, and it stays in the basket. Rebecca with the most birdies on the card, but also a few more bogeys. Still very impressive to be able to get those birdies out here in these conditions.
There were 12 birdies out of 51 competitors. 2 of the 12 here on our feature card. A 3-way tied for the lead right now at 3 down through 7. Again, you're happy with that score even on a calm day.
Hole 8 is a par 5, only 697 feet, but a lot of technicality here. You can take this gap on more of a backhand turnover. You can take a Heiser gap. You can take a forehand. Whatever you do, you want to clear all those trees. And second shot, you want to carry over this kind of OB half circle on the left, carry as far down the tunnel as you can if you're getting really saucy, but a lot of people just kind of lay up to the mouth of that tunnel, and then the third shot will chip a little sidearm or backhand if you're lucky, but most often a sidearm up to the basket. It's short enough where you really want to birdie it, but there's a lot of danger, especially if you're out of position off the tee.
They really pinched in the OB on the right side.
They did.
So you have to throw a Heiser. If you're just carry straight at all, it's very easy to land OB over there. Also, the shot to the green, the branches hang down a lot lower than they have in years past, so it's a pretty tricky shot up to the green this year.
As long as you get past that tree right there, you're thinking birdie every time. Holyn gonna have Maybe a stretch out forehand from there.
Owen taking the straighter shot as well, flexing one up the gut. It does kind of bring the OB on the left side into play, but she checks up before she gets there.
Nice shot.
This is one of the places on the course that the wind was really swirly. It seems like it's a majority right to left, but it was all over the place.
Yeah. Anniken leaves that one just a little short, but she'll have a bit of an advantage on this second shot.
Holyn's still opting for a backhand, even though she's pinched on that tree.
Yeah, the kind of nice thing, though, about this is if she fades, as long as she's past that OB half circle and hits the fence usually keeps it in.
And it looks like it did today.
There's like one gap in there that if you find, it's the most infuriating thing in the world. I really landed in this 1.5 foot spot.
Anniken turning this disc a little too much. Did she find the gap?
I hope not. I didn't know if she did.
She found it.
It's a little bit bigger than 1.5 feet, but it's not a significant portion. Owen opting for the backhand really kind of yanks it. Oh, it's good. It's good. Okay, that looked like an intentional play. I can't believe no one's going forehand.
Me too. My forehand's kind of weenie, and I still went for it here.
Same.
Rebecca comes in high, and she's, I think, over the top of the fence there.
It looked like it. Anniken after the OB. Has to take it kind of far back. Needs some ground play here. And that's well done, but she's pinned up right on a tree. The green feels a little more guarded than it has.
It sure does. It's really tough. Oh, Owen found a little gap in the middle. That is not a normal play.
Yeah.
Kind of goes deep of the basket. This is a tough green as well.
See, there it is. Okay, it is small.
I mean, I'm safe. Yeah, I'm safe. I'm just wondering my meter relief because I think I'm
In a corner, you take it a meter in and then a meter in. Yeah.
okay.
You get a meter from any OB.
Because like a meter. Okay.
Straight, like so that line.
So Holyn is safe. What a silly little OB line.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing 3 here. She's very close.
Yeah, look at the advantage from being past that out of bounds area. If you are where Owen was, it can be really difficult to get up to the green. It's super steeply sloped as well. And for whatever reason, the wind was absolutely ripping through here.
A nice recovery shot from Rebecca. Anniken looking at a par save here. Difficult kind of tester putt uphill. Looks like the wind isn't too awful in this moment, but she's going to miss high left, her first bogey of the round. Owen with the unconventional birdie, as she does. Owen and Holyn both going to move to 3 down on the round.
Rebecca with a nice recovery, even with the OB stroke. This was one of the 3 holes that averaged under par.
Looks like Owen and Holyn are in a tie for second.
Amanda Lennartson 4 down.
Wow.
And here's the new hole 9. Some new trees. This was intentional. This was not the course dartboard we discussed. And in hole 4, they set it up to kind of, if you're going to go for it, you have to really, really, really commit. But today, not many FPO players are going to go for it. It was a screaming headwind. Most players are going to pitch out to the right, pitch across on their second, and take an easy birdie, quote unquote easy.
Much harder.
But Holyn is going for it.
Oh, but choosing to, well, no, it wasn't a choice.
Yeah, I think that was a errant shot.
I think this is just a little bit too narrow to entice people. It seems like they're trying to make people go for it, but you can't really work a full shape.
Yep. You can't really throw a distance shot. It forces you to throw like a golf shot.
A dead straight golf shot, yeah. So here's the layup play. It is really awkward with how far back the trees are. So you're seeing these ladies go from about halfway back on the tee pad. And then they did add these trees as well that kind of block the upshot a little bit. It's still very doable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of like to throw something slower off the tee, and then it's wide open on your second shot, instead of getting crazy and then having to bring those little trees into play.
Yeah, these are some big, quote unquote, layup shots.
They really are. I would say, 280, 300, somewhere? 260?
Left or off the tee?
No, where they are now from the tee, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And then this is probably 200 to 240-ish, depending on where you land.
Yeah.
Feet across.
Which is so funny because you look at it and it says 362 feet.
The basket is elevated, if you can't tell. Sometimes you can't tell without the lighthouse,
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah, this is an interesting tweener hole. I think they called it a par 3 for a while. And they were like, yeah, we'll call it a 4. Why not?
Yeah, they're kind of doing with what they have here on this property. And they've experimented with so many different designs here on hole 9. It has been just an absolutely wild change in design over and over again.
Holyn, from the drop zone, gonna end up OB. She progresses to that. No. Okay.
Oh.
They changed it. There used to be a secondary drop zone that was closer to the green. And she just has to keep throwing this. And this is where Winthrop becomes an absolute nightmare. Because now she has to do it again.
Wow, these are shots that I feel like we've seen Holyn really perfect, especially the second half of the season.
Now she's going backhand, and that should be fine.
Yeah.
More of a putt than you'd like for a quadruple. And welcome to Winthrop, where they just stack up very quickly.
Yeah, the stroke and distance is what makes it an XA tier. I don't know if you heard us say that earlier. It's not just a regular A tier. It doesn't count towards our ratings or any point systems whatsoever. That's why this tournament is wild.
Owen misses her birdie putt high. Man, Holyn, to go from 3 down to 1 up just like that, it is tough to just mentally buckle up and start birdieing again after something like that.
And honestly, how she threw the first one out of bounds and then having to just throw the exact same shot again, you think, advantage, I just did it, I know how to not make that mistake. But you don't get that disc, so you have to pick a different disc. And the stroke and distance element, you automatically are like, oh wait, what if I do it again?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's,
I didn't know that it wasn't the secondary drop zone either. That's... Whew.
The stroke and distance is stressful is what we're trying to say.
Yeah. Haley King and Amanda Lennartson leading the way at 4 down. Rebecca Cox on our feature card and Owen Scoggins at 3 down with a good handful of people. Looks like the top 10 or so are under par currently through 9 holes. We got 9 more for you.
And a quick shout out, Haley King eagled hole 9.
Oh, cool.
She got the 2.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
Was she the only one?
Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, we do have 9 more holes. It just gets a little bit windier, a little bit more wild, a lot more par 4s. So come hang with us on the back. This is the first round of 4 with a cut after 3. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.